Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are well. So Tommy Fury makes his return to the ring after a stint on reality TV. He knocks out Polish journeyman Przemyslaw Binienda. I'm presuming I said that right. More than likely butchered it, but we'll go with it. He knocks out Przemyslaw Binienda in one round. This was Tommy Fury's third pro fight. Now, obviously, I've heard a lot about Tommy Fury. I've been aware of him for quite some time, but I've never actually seen the guy fight before, and this was my first experience watching him fight. Now, obviously, he fights in the light heavyweight division. He's just starting his career. He didn't really have much amateur background. He's obviously from a fighting family, and that is the brief overview on Tommy Fury. But in regards to this fight, what did I make of his performance? Well, you have to take into account the guy he was fighting had no ambition whatsoever, and quite frankly he was terrible. I very much doubt Tommy Fury would have learned anything from this fight, but in regards to his performance, I guess he did what he had to do. He was very aggressive from the opening bell, letting go of his shots right away, kind of chasing Binienda down. He landed a series of 1-2s, and it was a right hand that dropped Binienda for the first time. Actually quite a good punch. Good knockdown by Tommy Fury. Binienda gets up and tries to fight on, but Fury kind of swarms all over him and, lets go of a barrage of punches, catches him to the side of the head. Once again, Binienda goes down, kind of looking for the canvas. He was looking for a way out, but, Binienda, he beats the count again, he gets up. Tommy Fury jumps all over him again, and the referee jumps in and waves the fight off. So, very quick fight, not much action, and not really too much to analyse. I mean, ultimately, Tommy Fury is what he is, a guy with very little amateur background, and that really shows in his style. He's very raw, very wild, and at times inaccurate. He was rushing his work, he was smothering his work. I know it was only a really quick fight, but, these are some of the flaws I picked up. Basically, he's just a very raw fighter, and like I said, you expect that from a guy who had very little amateur backgrounds. How far can this guy go? I mean, ultimately, he can certainly make a lot of money out of the sport, given his name, given his profile, but in regards to winning titles and things like that, I've got to say it's way too early, but if I were to have a bet, I don't really expect Tommy Fury to get that far in the pro ranks. Like I said, I'm sure he'll earn some good money. He can certainly be a fun fighter. He's very aggressive. He's very raw, he's very wild, and if he carries that through his pro career, he could be a fun fighter to watch. But in regards to, going through the levels and how far he can go, I don't really expect him to get that far, if I'm being honest. I could be wrong. I mean, the guy is very young. I believe he's only, 20 years old, only had 3 fights. Maybe he can improve drastically, and in a few years, maybe he's actually further ahead than I expect, but time will tell ultimately. Another thing to consider, obviously, Tommy Fury has a lot of outside the ring distractions with all of this reality TV nonsense. So can he concentrate on both careers, and, fully succeed as a boxer? Time will tell, but certainly an interesting fighter, I guess. He's got a fun style, he's aggressive, and like I said, he could certainly be involved in some fun fights at domestic level, but I believe that's his ceiling, if I'm being honest. But again, maybe I'm wrong, but from what I see, I don't really see a great talent there. Even when guys don't have much amateur background and they're starting out, sometimes you can see that there's a diamond in the rough. I don't really get that feeling with Tommy Fury, to be honest. But there we go, he gets the job done, he knocks out Przemyslaw Binienda in 1 round, and it's on to the next one for Tommy Fury. Obviously, this fight was on the undercard of Daniel Dubois versus Kayotaro Fujimoto. And just to make a note, the other fights on the undercard that are worth talking about, Liam Williams defeated Alantez Fox in 5 rounds in a WBO middleweight eliminator. Very impressive performance from Liam Williams, dominant from start to finish. Alantez Fox, not a great fighter, but he's certainly awkward and he's very rangy. He's actually 6'5" at middleweight. This was a guy who took Demetrius Andrade the distance. And did he drop Demetrius Andrade? On memory, maybe he did, but yeah, Andrade couldn't get this guy out of there, and Liam Williams destroyed this guy. So An impressive performance from Liam Williams. He's really got a lot better since moving up to middleweight and going with Dominic Ingle. Certainly one to watch for Liam Williams. He's improved a lot in recent years. And also on the undercard, Sonny Edwards defeated Marcel Braithwaite to become the new British super flyweight title. He won that fight by a unanimous decision, but he certainly had some problems. In fact, he got dropped in this fight in round 7. Braithwaite was tough and game, but Edwards outboxed him for the most part. But there we go, that is pretty much the undercard for Dubois versus Fujimoto. I'm just getting ready now to watch the main event, so I'll do a post-fight video for that as well. Peace.